You talked a little bit about him yesterday during the coaches teleconference, but Manny Bates, what makes him such a difficult task just to control? I know he does a lot on both ends for NC State on the interior.
Well, anytime you have a guy who has an exceptional skill, timing of blocking shots, is a special gift. You have a lot of guys that have verticals. You have guys um, um, who are athletic, quick and strong, but that exceptional ability to time shot and without goaltending is a unique special skill. He has that, and that anchors their defense, and that gives the guys an opportunity to make a mistake when they're pressuring, trapping, and you can make a mistake defensively. You got the big eraser back there in the back that helps you out. I mean, we had Bernard James once. We led the nation in field goal percentage defense, and we would always we was pressuring the ball. We consistently got beat, and so but Bernard was back there, and it wasn't like we was playing great defense. He was erasing folks' mistakes, and that's what he gives them. So that's a challenge for us, but that's what makes them a good team.
Coach, just talk about a little bit about Kevin Keats and just kind of the job that he's done. I'm sure you've had chances to meet with him and just talk about the challenges that present you tomorrow night.
Well, it's not Kevin is a legendary, successful prep school coach with a lot of experience. He was there with Patino in Louisville when they were having those good years. He's been around. He's been in the ACC footprint where he's watched and experienced, seen, learned, grew. So he's a very knowledgeable basketball coach. Obviously, he did an outstanding job at the University of Wilmington, and that opened up an opportunity for him in North Carolina State. He's a seasoned veteran. And now what he's done is adjusted. He's kept fine tuning his system to the point now where he's really basically going with 2 6'11" guys, rotating them at the post, playing them together some, and then he has about 6 7 guards that are all put the ball on the floor. They shoot the ball well. They're quick. They're great decision makers, and so he's kind of creating havoc. And he'll have 4 guys on the floor at one time. You make one mistake on either one of them, that they're capable of scoring. They shoot well from the perimeter. You got guys shooting over close to some 40% from 3. They put the ball on the floor. I mean, and so he's creating a different situation for you each time down the court, with the floor being spreaded, with 2 athletes inside that capable of really challenge you in every position defensively. And then he'll do 2 big guys together at times just to kind of throw you off, to give you something different to handle. And so there's no doubt that he's a typical ACC team. They were on record right in the position where they could have probably gone to the NCAA tournament last year. And so this is they have a lot of rich tradition there. Guys playing for a lot of pride. This looks like his best team, and they present tremendous problem for us. We haven't played very many games. We've been off a little bit. So mentally, we're still growing. We have more adjustments that we are making than he is. He's a little more in sync. Most of the schools in our league are a little more in sync than we are. We got moving parts. We got guys that are moving into accepting different roles. Polite and Malik Osborne and Evans and Wyatt and there's no doubt that those guys are stepping into different roles that now we need them to, instead of being rotation guys, those are lead guys for us. And also, so then we have 4 new guys we're trying to integrate into our system that are learning with less practices, less exhibition game. So we have a little bit more moving part. And then plus we have a very talented point guard that's moving from high school to power forward to the point guard. I'm very pleased with his and amazed at the progress he's making. But those are all adjustments, learning learn a new system, learn your teammates, learn a new position, and being a lead guy offensively and defensively. We have a lot of moving parts. I think that if we can just continue to keep winning while we're growing, that I think before too long we can be a good team. We've stomped our toe in a couple of games that we love to have back, but that's part of the growth process. That's part. Keith is not going through that. He's a little more. I think they might have 4 guys, those stars that are returning, that were integral pieces. So, what we're doing is playing a very aggressive, talented team on Wednesday, and we got 3 games in 6 days. We it's right up on top of us with less practices. We got to be ready to play, and the growth we got to make is more mentally and emotionally as much as it is physically.
The quick follow-up real quick, just to go back to Keats for a little bit, him being an African-American head coach in the ACC, I know obviously you can relate to that. Just talk about how that was for you coming into a conference like that, especially considering you grew up in ACC country in North Carolina.
Well, once again, I think Keith has been around enough. He's proven that he's a good coach, period. And the fact that he earned the right to be the head coach at North Carolina State. He knows the footprint. People in that whole area respect him. That's why he's been able to come in and transform that program. He has plenty of talent there. And I'm not real sure that him being African American, one way or the other, has anything to do with the progress he's making. He's just doing a very good job. He's a very good coach. Hopefully that we've moved on. He's proven that he is just as confident as some of the guys that have been very successful in our league. I don't know whether him being African American has as much to do with where he is, and the fact that he's just an African American doing a very good job. Hopefully we can move past those narratives and he continues to keep proving that he's more than capable of being a successful coach in the ACC.
We go to Austin Cox.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. Just want to ask you, with the long layoff, do you think that affects offensively getting in rhythm with shooting more, or maybe defensively with rotations and whatnot?
I think it affects you in every phase of the game. Shooting, dribbling, passing, decision making. Rhythm, consistency, free throws. I mean, you need to stay continued. But that's the new normal that we're dealing with. We're not the only one dealing with these situations. I mean, even good, bad, or indifferent. We can't use that as an excuse. No one is going to come in and say, well, let's be a little less efficient because maybe they missed a few practices. That's not the way it is. Matter of fact, it doesn't have anything to do with it. We just got to be ready to play. I mean, it affects it. Sure, it affects you. Anytime you missing a part, when you already have missed some practices, you've missed games, you missed the exhibition games, you missed some early season games, and now we got 25 games instead of 29 or 30. So it affects you, but you can't pull out a crying towel now. I mean, nobody's gonna have a pity party for you. We just got to be ready to play. Also, I mean, it's regardless of what's going on now, we got to get back on the winning way, and I think our guys are anxious to do that.
Yes, sir.
Go back to Chris Nee.
Leonard, you said after Clemson that defensively you guys might have to take a look at what you're doing regarding switching and whatnot. Just wondering, when you guys did sit down, review the film, talk to the players, kind of work through it, what was kind of the outcome of the decision?
We just got to do a better job containing the dribble, regardless of whether we switch it 1 through 5 or not. That has its pluses and has its minuses. We sometimes in life, when you lose a game, especially right after the game, you emotional and you're disappointed. But we'll make the necessary adjustments. We just got to do a better job doing what we do. I mean, there's no doubt. I just thought that Clemson, even along with
UCF.
UCF. I just didn't feel. I thought those guys outplayed us. You know, I thought that they played with a little. They out Florida State. You know, they didn't. Normally, we have been the team that play the hardest and play the toughest, and with that mentality, that level of 5 focus. And I don't feel like we did, not to take anything away from them. I just thought they out energized us. I thought that the loose balls, the consistent blockouts, the running the floor, getting deflections, steals, energy type points that don't show up in the statistical column that make the difference in whether or not you win. The little things that I look back, closeouts, contested, taking away vision, rotating, sealing the baseline, all those things that we've become accustomed to doing, those little things that make the difference in the end of the game. I thought those teams did a better job of it than us. I think they drove the ball harder. Anytime, if I remember correctly, did we shoot 9 free throws against Clemson?
Somewhere in that ballpark.
I think they shot 20, they outscored us 24 points from the free throw. Was it 17, 18 points from the free throw line? They took 33 free throws.
Yep.
Is that right? And we took 9. Now, you know, I mean, I don't know, but that's them driving the ball harder and with more aggressiveness and coming closer to executing their game plan better than we did ours. You know, so we're a new team that's trying to develop a new identity. We have guys, like I said earlier, that are rotating in different roles, and which comes with a different mindset and responsibility, and we're still making those adjustments. Hopefully, Wednesday night we can continue to keep making those adjustments. I think we just got to keep winning while we're getting better. You know, that's the key. You know, we gotta make sure that we on point. Right now, we got beat by 2 teams that outplayed us and they played better than we did, and we got to accept that, not make any excuses. Now we got to go do something about it.
Ryan Kelly, you want to jump into the question?
Hey, Coach, overall, when you take a look at the rest of the season, just how much more do you really see this pandemic and really things, I guess, kind of slipping things up? And how prepared do you have to be to know that at a moment's notice, all it takes is another positive to go back into quarantine?
Ryan, this is a year that we got to maintain a mentality that you're flexible, that you make adjustments. You don't get caught up in if things don't go right. This is new thing that we all are adjusting to. You got to prepare yourself for the unexpected. This is no doubt. This is a different set of circumstances. And when you have a bump in the road, you just got to adjust to it and move on, not dwell on it, deal with it, make the best out of it. And let's get through this year, and hopefully we get some vaccines and everybody get to the point where we don't have to worry about this and move on. I'm not going to dwell on it. Sure, it's not anything that we can do anything about. And you can't anticipate. You just got to prepare yourself for the unexpected. And that's the mindset we're in. Because at the end of the day, I said all along, someone's going to stay the same. Somebody's going to get worse because they can't handle it. And somebody's going to get better. And the only way you get better is to maintain the right mental frame of mind. And that's what we are trying to do.
Go to Mike Cousins from the ACC Network.
Morning, Leonard. I was wondering, on the days where you have had those recent postponements, have you found yourself at home watching more games because your team's not playing, so you've got that free time, or do you do something else?
Oh, I took vacation, went down to the ocean, went fishing. caught some fish, went hunting. Man, I don't think I've been fishing since my father took me on Highway 74 between Gastonia and Charlotte, and I didn't want to put the worm on the bait on the hook. It was ugly, squirming. So I'm just teasing about swimming, about fishing. I don't have the patience to sit out there and wait on a fish, for the bite. I did all of the above. I probably watched all our games, watched our practices, watched basketball, had Zoom calls with my players, tried to stay connected, on the phone, recruiting my brains out, talking to everybody all over the country. We didn't let any grass grow under our feet, that's for sure. But we stay in contact with our players, consistently communicating with them, and preparing, not only for this season, but also preparing for seasons to come. So we were very, very active, and that's part of what you have to do. You just got to keep your nose to the grindstone, as they say. And we're not one of those blue bloods. We're new blood. New bloods grinding. We grind all the time.
To follow up on that, I was talking with MJ and Scotty earlier this week, and they were saying how they've been in their accountability groups and watching film together. Has that been different in them doing it in groups by themselves versus where normally you'd be able to sit in your team film room and do it?
Well, we've always had the culture of our program all the way back to Tony Douglas and all those guys. They always have their team meetings on a consistent basis. There are times, and sometimes they have a meeting before every practice, sometimes meetings after practice. That's the culture, the leadership of our team. And like I said, we have moving parts on our team now, Mike. We have guys accepting new roles. We have 4 new guys coming in that we really need to bring them up. In the past, we haven't had this many new guys that we're counting on to be more efficient this earlier in the season than what we've had in the past. This team, I like this team. I think we got a chance to develop and be a pretty good team, but we still are developing our identity, offensively and defensively. Mostly mentally and emotional, as much from a maturity standpoint, as much as anything. You take a guy like Anthony Polite and Wyatt and Osborne and Balsa, guys who now are moving into different roles on our team. Even MJ now becoming the leader of our team. Right, we're calling Gray, we're calling Evans. Those guys now, in order for us to be successful, they need to have consistent, efficient input on the game. And then we have 4 new guys that we really need to adjust. We have a point guard that I'm really, really pleased with the progress he's making. In fact, I'm amazed. But now it's not. Now he has to make sure not only does he go out and put his energy into the game, he has to. Do I throw this guy a lob? Do I throw this guy a bounce pad? This guy's in his spot. I need to get those guys the ball, the out of bounds plays, the press offenses, the zone offenses. Now that's not you in a different position. He's made tremendous progress, but he's still growing. So I still think we still are developing our identity. I still think defensively, we got some steps. I mean, some areas where we need to improve on. But I do think this team has the culture, the talent, and the makeup that we can continue to keep getting better. We missed those games, we missed those practices. When you're playing a bigger rotation, that's part of who you are, and it takes us a little longer to get on top of our game. We very seldom ever put a starting group together when we practice, and we mix our guys up all the time because we play different combinations of guys on the court. You have to learn and adjust. So Mike, those meetings with the kids are making, the film sessions that they're having for the new guys, the guys returning, it's all important this time of year. And hopefully we can continue to keep doing that until we get to that level that we always, you guys are accustomed seeing us play at. And right now we're not quite there yet.